I'm Chef Leslie Durso, and if you're like me, you love to travel and to eat locally. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need a passport for it. All you need is a fork. Welcome to Around the World in 80 Plates. Today we are off to England. We are going to make some wild blueberry scones with a fresh lemon curd. And you don't have to worry because these are going to be plant-based and top 9 free. So the base of our scones is our gluten-free flour. Now, as you might know, if you've tried baking, not all gluten-free flours are created equal. I'm going to give you a little tip. This is the tip. This is the best gluten-free blend on the market, in my opinion, because a lot of gluten-free flours hide dry milk powder inside of them. So this one does not. This one is good for dairy and for wheat allergies. So let me show you how we're gonna make them. We've got 2 cups of that flour in a bowl. We're gonna add to that some granulated sugar, some baking powder, and some salt. Now we're just gonna whisk this together till it's mixed. Once you whisk that together, the key to a really good scone, frozen butter. This is non-dairy soy-free butter, but you can use any kind that works for you. Now the key is that you need to have it frozen, and you're gonna need a box grater for this. This is what's gonna get your scones so fluffy and light and delicious. So we've got 6 tablespoons of frozen butter that I am grating into our flour mix. So after we've grated all of that frozen butter, we want to work semi-quickly and just fold it into our flour gently. You want this to be a great sandy texture, and you don't want any big clumps of butter. All right, so once we get it nice and incorporated like that, it's time to add our wet ingredients. We're gonna use a cup of non-dairy milk. So this can either be full fat canned coconut milk, or in this case, I'm actually using an oat milk coffee creamer that I found. I'm using a plain, and we're gonna add vanilla, but if you have a flavored coffee creamer, then don't add any more vanilla. So into the mix this is going, with a good splash of vanilla. And again, I'm just going to fold this together. You don't want to overmix this, and you don't want to melt that butter. You want to keep it as cold as possible. Cold is the key to good scones. Once you've incorporated your liquid and your flour, you're gonna wanna add your frozen blueberries. We're using frozen wild blueberries today. You can use regular if that's all you have. You can use fresh or frozen, but the wild blueberries are particularly really great because they have a lot of antioxidants in them. Antioxidants can help your body fight inflammation all over the place, and including your brain, which is really good for brain health and brain aging. So I always love to get the wild blueberries. And they're smaller, which makes for just the perfect bite in a scone. So we're gonna, again, gently fold these guys into our mix. Again, you don't wanna overmix this. It's gonna be a little crumbly, and that's okay. Once it starts to come together like that, we're going to turn it out onto our board. I'm gonna take some of that gluten-free flour and turn our dough onto it. Now this doesn't look like it's gonna come together, but I promise you it will. Okay. So once we've got it on the board, we're just gonna start forming it into a round shape. You wanna make sure those blueberries get evenly distributed throughout your dough. And once you've got it into a nice round, tall, you want these scones to be tall because they are gonna spread. Okay, so now that we've got that formed, we're going to cut it into 6 or 8 pie wedges. And we're gonna gently transfer these to a parchment-lined baking sheet. So once you get the last one on there, we're gonna take a pastry brush and some non-dairy milk or some of that creamer if you have any left, and we're just gonna paint the tops of them with a good heaping of milk. That's gonna help it get nice and golden. All right, let's pop these in the oven. These are going into a 400-degree oven for 15-ish minutes until they're golden brown. So to go with our blueberry scones, we are gonna make a fresh lemon curd. Now this is just this delicious, luscious lemon heaven that you're gonna wanna put on everything that you make. So we're gonna start just with some sugar in a pot and some cornstarch. Now I'm using cornstarch today, but you could sub this out for tapioca flour or arrowroot powder if you prefer. And we're just gonna whisk the sugar and cornstarch together until it's nice and smooth. And we're gonna add in 1/2 cup of plain oat milk and 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Give that a good little whisk and turn it on to medium. And now we're gonna zest a lemon into it. So the zest of a lemon, you just wanna get the yellow part. You don't wanna get the white part that's underneath. So you wanna give it a couple grates and twist the lemon so that you are only getting the yellow parts and not any of the white pith. Okay. And then the key to this is really almost continuous whisking until it becomes a thick curd, which usually takes about 5 minutes. Smells like heaven. I love the smell of fresh lemons. So once you've gotten this nice and thick, you're gonna remove it from the heat, place in a bowl, and chill. Oh my word, these smell delicious. I am so excited for you guys to try these. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of my lemon curd in a bowl. And I'm gonna lift one of these perfect scones right onto my plate. And hit it with a little bit of powdered sugar. Perfect little mint sprig. And that is a perfect top 9 free Sunday brunch. I'm gonna dive in. Delicious. Well, that was a delicious trip to England. Where shall we eat next?